Hello, welcome to iAfrica, the show that celebrates everything with diversity. And on today's program, we are joined by three phenomenal ladies who are all making their contribution towards building a positive narrative of the African continent. We are joined in the first segment by Miriro Mwandiambira, who is a content curator at the Naka First Floor Gallery. We're also joined by Bethany Maoko Magaya, who is an innovative fashion designer. I hope you will stay with me on this exciting episode of iAfrica. I am your host, Nicole Jamu.
iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food, and travel.
In this first segment, we speak to curator at the Naka Gallery, first floor, in the city of Harare. Her name is Miriro, and she speaks on the importance of photography and storytelling. And in this particular instance, the focus is on the Tonga tribe of Zimbabwe.
Hello, my name is Miriro Mwandiambira, and welcome to First Floor Gallery Harare. First Floor Gallery is an artist-run space that was launched in 2009. So we have exhibitions held in the space. We also have education facilities in the space and studio residencies for young artists and emerging artists in the space. So this is First Floor Gallery. I'm just mentioning briefly what First Floor Gallery is and how we contribute to the arts sector. We are the leading contemporary gallery in Zimbabwe, and we exhibit around the world, having different artists come in to exhibit with us as well. My role, importantly, is to identify talent sometimes, and also to nurture the talent that we have in Zimbabwe. So I'm speaking as we because this is a gallery. It's not just run by one person. We have a team that is responsible for each and everything that happens. So my role specifically is to nurture the talent, research-based work, and bring out different aspects of art. It could be contemporary art, it could be video, it could be performance, exhibition, it could be paintings, sculpture, different kinds of disciplines. Okay, so normally for young artists that approach us, when somebody wants to have an exhibition with a space, we give them studio residency. It ranges from 1 month to maybe 2 years before they could finally exhibit and show their work. So this residency is to nurture them, is to like give them a sense of direction of, okay, this is how you can approach your discipline. It could be sculpture, like I was saying, soft sculpture, video production. It could be painting mostly. So we give them a studio space until they've reached a point where they are comfortable with their work, they have matured in their work, and then they will exhibit in the space. Firstly, we have the fundamentals of education, right? Where we don't have an art faculty that is as strong in Zimbabwe. This is something we are trying to work around also as a gallery. So I think it's very important for artists to show their communities' lives, their social setups through the lenses of different other things. So it is very important for artists to show their work, to be expressive in all different forms. The artist is called Calvin Dondo, who is also a founder of Kwanza Photo Festival, sorry. So he has been working on this body of work since 2014. So this work in particular speaks about the Tonga people and the construction of the Kariba Dam, which also aided to the displacement of the Tonga people into higher pastures, into different areas of Zimbabwe. So this exhibition in particular for me, it has been interesting because I had little knowledge about the Tonga. So working around this, it also meant that I had to do research about the Tonga people, which I feel like this is quite an underrepresented tribe in Zimbabwe, but that is very important tribe as well. So this is how I feel like it contributed culturally to the space. And for every visitor who is coming in, they are very interested in, oh, okay, we didn't know about, okay, this is the Tonga, this is what happened during the construction. There's so much that happened behind the scenes that I feel like it is quite an experience, to be honest. In general, I think what I would like to see improve in the art scene is having facility to learn, having opportunity to learn about art, giving a voice also to the voiceless, and also having more women involved. And yeah, I think that's what's, well, my aspiration as an artist, as a curator, is to see more young people being involved in the art and getting connected with their cultural backgrounds. And yeah, I think that's what's important right now.
So as you can tell, the camera is a lens not just in the present day, but it also takes us back into history. And guess what? It will also take us into the future. Coming up next in the second segment, we speak to Bethany Maoko Magaya, who is the founder and creator of Maoko, that is the fashion brand.
iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food, and travel. The focus is on outstanding individuals doing extraordinary things on the African continent. iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food, and travel. The focus is on outstanding individuals doing extraordinary things on the African continent.
Thank you for staying with us this far on the program iAfrica, and we speak to Bethany Maoko Magaya as she takes us through her creative journey when it comes to curating a clothing line.
My name is Bethany Maoko Magaya. I have been in fashion, I want to say my whole life, because I've loved it since I was a child. Definitely would say got more serious when I went to college. So in that perspective, I've been in it for years, and more so pushing my own label in the past few years. Growing up, well, when you're really young, your parents kind of say, okay, that's what you want to be when you grow up. When you start getting into high school and things like that, they definitely are more open to doctor, lawyer, those definitive job roles. I would say my mom was definitely more open, I guess, in some regards. My dad did have some reservations at first. It's like, is that going to put food on the table and all this other stuff? But he came around pretty fast and pretty quick, and is definitely one of my biggest supporters. So I think he just kind of saw and recognized that maybe one, I might do this anyway. And two, he really felt like this is something I'm good at, and this is something I'm made to do, so to speak. So I guess he just learned to appreciate my talent, should I say. So in the business, how long we've been in the business, we're definitely babies and learning and growing. It's been a great experience so far. Mawoko is more so a label that is seeking to produce quality garments here locally so that people don't feel like they have to go abroad to find something that is individual, something that's not just mass produced and is found everywhere by everyone. So it's definitely been a good experience with highs and with lows. And we're definitely just trying to put ourselves out there, make people more aware of who we are and what we're doing. And we're looking to support anyone who is willing to bring value to their closet with good design. I would say, if are we a niche brand, I probably want to say yes and no. I wouldn't say, okay, we put to this age group and not to that age group. I would say it's just for a woman who has a strong sense of identity, a strong sense of style, of taste, someone who prefers something that's maybe even timeless. And that would be, in general, our target market. Obviously, someone who values good design, unique and innovative design, as well as quality as well. So that would be our target market, and that you can't limit that to an age. So yeah, that's us. So fashion to me is one, obviously a form of self-expression, and I believe that does translate in a few of our pieces. And it's also a sense of what I would like to say a wearable art form. When we talk about art, there are different forms of art, maybe painting, sculpture, and all these other forms of art. But I would say fashion is an art form that is wearable. You embody it, and it's a form of self-expression for yourself. I think it's very important. I would say that's actually one of our biggest goals, so to speak, just to get that awareness out there that good design and good labels don't necessarily always have to be searched for outside of the country, maybe when you go to holiday, but we can bring you good design, we can bring you quality garments, we can bring you good taste without you having to think that it has to be found elsewhere. So that's definitely something that we are passionate about, and just showing that good things can come from home. Is there enough support for local designers? I think that's tricky. It is tricky. It's a bit hit or miss. In some ways, yes. If you dabble into those who are in the fashion industry, you will find a lot of people who are pushing to expand what the fashion industry is in Zimbabwe and just give it more recognition and worth, and obviously just progress it a little bit and bring it to a more modern level and stage. I don't know if as a country as a whole, if a lot of people really understand and entirely maybe respect the fashion industry. That part I'm not too sure about. But those who are in the creative sector, they're very passionate in terms of taking, the whole industry to a greater height. I feel like those questions are actually one answer for me. What I'd like to see for myself, for my label, and what I'd like to see for Zimbabwe is to put our country on the map. When I chose to name my label after a maiden name as a child, it's because you run around and you see all these other designers that are maybe French, Italian, Spanish. And when I was young, I felt like I don't have that kind of name or vibe. It's very much Shona. And I decided, no, that's okay. That's good enough. It serves to be on the market. Like, it deserves to be on the market just as any other name. So I would say that's definitely a goal and an aspiration, is to just put Zimbabwe on the map, because why not? No, I can't say there's no one person that is the source of maybe all my inspiration. I definitely draw inspiration from different things. Something as simple as just fabric, words, just colors as well. If we're talking in terms of people, I'd say I'm just inspired by anyone who decides to be unique in how they present themselves. I always find inspiration from that type of person. Or anywhere across the world. Oh, that could be a very long list. Anyone who I'd love to collaborate with, oh my gosh. That's a very long list. I would say locally, I feel like they're just more boutiques and retail stores that I would love to kind of service, maybe because of their clientele, and I just kind of like what they have in store. As far as designers are concerned, I would love to work with these designers, but they specialize in a different niche. But you have, Zargisha, who's making headwaves in the bridal kind of sector and things like that. There's a girl named Sharon, owner of TP. She's doing great ready-to-wear garments that are very unique. So that would really be exciting. On the global scheme, global market, I definitely like designers like Tony Manichevsky, who came from Australia, which is where I did my studies. So I think maybe that's why I'm a huge fan. And others like Dion Lee, definitely a huge fan of that label as well. I think my educational background maybe tweaked my appreciation passion in terms of knowing everything that goes through just producing one garment. It definitely gave me more sense of just global awareness and understanding mass consumption and things like that, things that do affect our world physically, and also what challenges and causes that happen when people outsource and underpay and labor, things like that. So it's made me more aware socially as well, the impact that fashion can have. So I think that's what I got from my studies.
As you can tell, the lady is very passionate when it comes to creating a narrative of the Zimbabwean fashion scene.
iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food and travel. The focus is on outstanding individuals doing extraordinary things on the African continent. iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food and travel. The focus is on outstanding individuals doing extraordinary things on the African continent.
Karibu, the universal invitation. Karibu, which translates to welcome, is the most popular word in Tanzania. The United Republic of Tanzania is the largest country in East Africa and includes the island of Zanzibar, about twice the size of California. It is bordered by Indian Ocean and 8 countries: Kenya, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, Democratic Republic of Congo, Zambia, Malawi, and Mozambique. A country of 61 million people, its long history of integration into trade networks spanning the Indian Ocean and the African interior led to the development of Swahili as a common language in much of East Africa and introduction of Islam to the region. The official capital of this beautiful country is Dodoma, while Dar es Salaam is the country's commercial capital and also the major seaport for the country, serving its landlocked neighbors. Since gaining its independence from Britain in 1961, has been ruled by 60 presidents. The late Mwalimu Julius Kambarage Nyerere, who is the founding father of the nation. After gaining independence for his country, he followed his Pan-Africanist path by welcoming and supporting the armed rebellions against regimes in Mozambique, South Africa, Namibia, and others. Other presidents are His Excellencies Ali Hassan Mwinyi, Benjamin Mkapa, Jakaya Kikwete, John Magufuli, and the East African first female president, Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan. Tanzania has been described as one of the most diverse countries in Africa, And this is reflected in the fact that there are more than 120 tribes and languages spoken in the country. Swahili is the national language that is widely spoken, while English is the official language of education, administration, and businesses. Generally, Tanzania culture is a product of African, Arab, European, and Indian influences. Traditional African values are being consciously adopted to modern life, although at much slower pace among the Maasai. More than just amazing water bodies, wildlife, and beautiful weather, Tanzania entertainment has a lot more to offer, from local dances to Diamond Platnumz, a multi-award-winning artist and one among Africa's most celebrated musician. With his numerous favorite songs, he puts Tanzania bongo flavor music to the world. Tanzanian cuisine is a mix of traditional African food with a strong Arabic and Indian influence, especially along the coast and in Zanzibar. However, national dish ugali is the must-eat for anyone wanting to explore the culture. After 2 decades of sustained growth, Tanzania reached an important milestone in July 2020, when it formally graduated from low-income to lower-middle-income country status. It is a developing country and its economy depends heavily on agriculture. The sector accounts for more than 40% of the gross domestic product, provides 85% of the country's export, and employs 8% of the total workforce. Apart from the agricultural sector, tourism, mining, and small-scale industries are increasingly contributing to the national economic growth. However, Tanzanian shillings is the official currency. Tanzanian national flag has 4 different beautiful colors, each of which was selected to represent features of the country. Black color represents population, Swahili people who are native to Tanzania. Yellow represents the country's natural wealth, such as Tanzanite and natural gas. Blue represents the region of the Great Lakes, Lake Tanganyika, Victoria, and the Indian Ocean, of course, and others. Finally, green color represents the numerous botanical and naturalistic richness of the country, making it one of the most popular safari destinations thanks to its extraordinary flora and fauna. Tanzania is the land of Serengeti, Ngorongoro, and home to Africa's highest mountain, Kilimanjaro. Among other things, Tanzania is home to some of the world's most treasured national parks and game reserves, including the Selous Game Reserve, which is the world's largest game reserve. People of Tanzania take pride in their hospitality and are known for their warm and friendly welcome, which is often expressed through a traditional greeting of Karibu. This greeting is not just formality, but is extended with genuine enthusiasm and reflects the country's culture of hospitality. Karibu Tanzania. Welcome Tanzania. Marhaban Tanzania.
this was today's episode of iAfrica, and I hope that you were inspired to walk through your African journey yourself. Just as you saw, we had 3 phenomenal women who were making their contribution in 3 different genres of art. Starting off with photography, and of course we went into the fashion world and closed it off. Be sure to find us on our social media and also follow the next episode of iAfrica. I am your host, Nicole Jamu.
iAfrica searches for inspiration and innovation in all areas of popular culture, from fashion and design through to architecture, art, food and travel. iAfrica presents creatives in their home nations, visiting renowned designers, musicians, architects who are leaving their mark on the young continent. From well-known brands through to ambitious startups, every week iAfrica seeks out the continent's best design and lifestyle innovations. Join me, your host Nicole Jamu, as we take a round trip across Africa and get you inspired, motivated, and future